Hi, this is Jamey with Stonemaier Games, and today I'm going to talk about my favorite mechanism in a trick-taking game called Tall Tales. This is a game that I backed on Kickstarter. I was really excited to play it, and it plays at only 3 or 4 players. So we played a 3-player game of it just yesterday, and we had a lot of fun with it. I just barely squeaked out a victory. Tall Tales is a really interesting game in that with every trick, you were either trying to win the trick or lose the trick. Those are the good things. Winning or losing are both good in different ways. Being in the middle is where you don't want to be. The reason for that is if you win the trick, or at any given time, I should say this, there are cards on the table that are the cards that each player played the previous round. So if I played a 10, Henry played a 9, Megan played an 8, on the previous turn, the previous trick, then those cards, those played cards, are now the cards that we can earn, that we can gain if we win the next trick. There are also some even better cards on the table that are set up at the beginning of the game. They're numbered, I believe, 10 through 19. So 10 is at the top of the stack, and they go down to 19. I can show you some of these. Here are some of the cards in the game. Here's what they look like. So you can see some of these higher cards over here, these higher blue cards over there. So those are set up in piles at the beginning of the game. So if I win a trick, I get to pick from those cards that were played in the previous round. I can pick any of those. And I'll tell you the decision point there because it's even interesting beyond that. So you're trying to win or lose the trick, or have the best card or the worst card. If you have the best card, you get to choose from the cards that were played in the previous trick. That's a great choice. The middle person, the person who got second or third, if you're playing a 4-player game, they also have to choose from those cards that were played in the previous round, and they're probably not going to be as good now that I've taken, or the winner of the trick has taken the best one. The player with the worst card, though, and this is almost sometimes the best thing, they get to choose from the really powerful stack of cards, the escalating stack of cards. So late in the game, they might be choosing, even though I win the trick and I gain like a 9 value card, the person who loses the trick might gain this 15 value card. That matters for scoring at 2 different times in the game. This is worth either half of 15 points or 15 points. And brilliantly, for the first 3 rounds, the cards that you win become your hand of cards for the next round of the game. The next hand of the game becomes your hand. And so in the first round, for example, I might try to gain, rather than gaining high cards, in the first hand, I might try to gain a lot of low cards in the first hand because those low cards are going to translate into last place finishes in many of the tricks in the second round, which will get me these really powerful high value scoring cards that are good then for the next hand. It's a little, as I'm describing this, I'm realizing it's probably a little tough to see the ebb and flow of the game, but it's just really neat to see that there are times where you want to win high cards because those high cards are worth more points and they will enter your hand, increasing the chance that you will win hands or win tricks in your next hand. However, gaining the lower cards is oftentimes how you lose tricks and how you get these better cards in the first place. Really interesting decision space there of having low cards versus high cards, when exactly you want to lose tricks, when exactly you want to win tricks, and at all costs, or at most costs, you want to avoid being in that middle spot where you're not getting the first pick of cards played the previous hand, and you're not getting the really strong cards from these preset piles. Really interesting concept here in Tall Tales. As you can tell, I had a really great time playing it. It took like a hand or two to get into the flow of it, to figure out what these decisions meant. But the whole game, 3-player game, took around 30 minutes, and I look forward to playing it again. So those are my thoughts on Tall Tales. Reminding me of maybe a little bit of For Sale, the ebb and flow of the game For Sale, trying to buy low at certain times or play the certain cards at certain times where they're worth more, worth less, based on what you can see at the table. If you played this game, or if you played a game that maybe makes you think of what I've described here, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. Thanks.